Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. Uh, Today, we're going to kind of unpack the world of data security,
Mhm.
and we're going to be looking at it through a real-world case study.
Okay.
So just imagine a global container leasing company. You know, those massive metal boxes that are crisscrossing the oceans.
Yeah.
Their entire business hinges on knowing where each container is,
Right.
what's inside its ETA.
Yeah.
It's like a logistical ballet on a global scale,
Yeah.
all orchestrated by data.
It really is. And it's fascinating how vulnerable that data actually is for a company like that. Um, a data breach isn't just an IT problem.
Right.
It's an existential threat.
Yeah.
We're talking about, potentially massive disruptions to global supply chains,
Okay, yeah.
financial losses, reputational damage. It's a high stakes game.
Okay, so the stakes are high.
Yeah.
What kind of specific data security challenges was this company grappling with?
Well, they were facing a trifecta of issues, slow backup speeds,
Okay.
laborious manual administration of those backups,
Yeah.
and the logistical complexities of coordinating this across a global network.
Right.
Think about it, trying to recover from a system crash with backups crawling along at a snail's pace
Yeah.
could bring their entire operation to a grinding halt.
That sounds incredibly stressful for their IT team.
Absolutely. And we actually heard this directly from Mark Johnson,
Okay.
their IT director, he said, and I quote, "We faced significant backup challenges, including slow speeds, manual processes, and complex logistics. Overcoming these hurdles was crucial for ensuring the security and availability of our critical data."
Wow, that quote really underscores just how critical this was for them. So how did they tackle these challenges? I mean, did they just throw more manpower at the problem?
They actually turned to Stonefly,
Right.
a company specializing in data storage and security solutions, and Stonefly proposed a solution called the DR365V,
Okay.
a system designed to streamline and bulletproof their data protection strategy.
So break it down for me. What exactly makes this DR365E so special?
Well, one of the key features is the use of parallel data movers.
Okay.
Imagine a multi-lane highway instead of a single-lane road.
Gotcha.
That's essentially what these data movers do. They accelerate the backup process significantly.
Faster.
And to minimize the risk of human error and free up IT staff, the DR365V also incorporates automated administration.
So less time babysitting backups and more time for, strategic thinking.
Exactly.
That's a win for any IT department.
Exactly. But it's not just about speed and efficiency.
Okay.
The DR365V also boasts advanced deduplication technology.
Okay.
It's like packing your data suitcase efficiently,
Yeah.
getting rid of unnecessary duplicates to optimize storage space, which ultimately translates into cost savings.
And interesting. So they're getting faster backups,
Yeah.
less manual work, and cost savings. I'm starting to see why they chose this solution.
And to top it off, the DR365V seamlessly integrates with Veeam,
Yep.
a widely used backup and recovery software. It's a comprehensive approach to data protection.
That makes a lot of sense. But
Yeah.
did it actually work?
Yeah.
What kind of results did this company see after implementing the DR365E?
Well, the results were impressive.
Okay.
They saw a dramatic boost in backup performance,
Yeah.
leading to shorter backup windows and faster recovery times.
Right.
And as you can imagine, the automation features significantly streamlined their administration process.
Yeah.
They saved valuable time and resources,
Yeah.
which, let's be honest, any IT team would appreciate.
Absolutely. Anything else?
Yes, the advanced deduplication also helped them achieve greater storage efficiency, meaning they needed less physical space to store their data.
Okay.
This, of course, translated into real cost savings.
So they tackled all three of their initial challenges head on. Pretty impressive. But in today's world, just having backups isn't enough, right? There's a whole other level of threat out there that there's ransomware.
You're absolutely right. Traditional backup systems are often vulnerable to ransomware attacks, which can cripple a business. But the DR365V goes beyond basic backup, incorporating multi-layered ransomware protection to really safeguard their data.
Multi-layered protection. That sounds serious. Can you break that down for me?
It's all about creating layers of defense, and the DR365V does this using air-gapped and immutable backups.
Oh.
Air-gapped essentially means isolating the backup data from the main network.
Okay.
It's like locking your most valuable possessions in a vault,
Gotcha.
disconnected from the outside world.
Okay, so even if the main system is compromised, those backups are still safe.
Precisely, and immutable means that data can't be altered or deleted, even by someone with administrative privileges.
Oh, wow.
It's like etching the backup data in stone, ensuring its integrity.
So even if ransomware sneaks in, it can't touch those backups.
Exactly, but it goes even further. The DR365V also uses machine learning to detect ransomware.
Really?
Imagine a security camera with AI that can spot potential threats. That's essentially what this feature does, constantly monitoring for suspicious activity.
Oh, it's proactive rather than just reactive.
Right, but even with all these precautions, what happens if a ransomware attack does get through? How do you ensure the backups are clean and ready for recovery?
That's a really good point. You don't want to restore from a backup that's already infected.
And that's where sandbox testing comes in.
Yeah.
The DR365V allows you to test those backups in a safe, isolated environment to verify their integrity before restoring them.
Okay.
It's like having a separate testing lab where you can experiment without risking the main system.
This is all starting to sound incredibly robust, but let's not forget about the cloud. So much data lives in the cloud these days. How does the DR365V address that?
Excellent question. The DR365V isn't limited to on-premise protection. It seamlessly integrates with major cloud solutions like Azure and AWS,
Why?
allowing for backup replication and archiving to the cloud. It's about having that off-site protection, especially for disaster recovery scenarios.
So you're covered, whether your data is on your servers or floating around in the cloud. That peace of mind must be invaluable. But what about organizations with more complex needs? Say, those dealing with massive amounts of data, like a managed service provider.
For those organizations, Stonefly offers a cloud-scale data center infrastructure called FlexStore Scale HA.
Okay.
It's designed for organizations with demanding requirements and immense amounts of data.
Okay, so Flexter Scale HA is for the big leagues. What makes it so special?
First, it's scalability. You can think of it like building a data center with Lego blocks.
Okay.
It's incredibly customizable and can be expanded to accommodate massive amounts of data. And of course, it incorporates those same robust ransomware protection features we discussed earlier, air gapping, immutability, you name it.
So it's got that same fortress-like protection just on a larger scale.
Right. But what sets FlexStore Scale HA apart is its flexibility. Each node in the system can be configured for a specific purpose, like dedicated backup disaster recovery or sandbox testing. It's like having a Swiss Army knife for data management adaptable to any task.
This all sounds pretty impressive, but we've been focusing a lot on the technical side of things.
Yeah.
I'm curious, from your perspective, what's the real takeaway here? What's the overarching lesson we can glean from this container leasing company's experience?
I think their story is a great example of proactive data protection. They didn't wait for disaster to strike. They acknowledged their vulnerabilities and sought out a solution that met their evolving needs. I think it highlights the importance of thinking ahead, of partnering with experts like Stonefly to safeguard your most valuable asset, your data.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's easy to think it won't happen to me. But the reality is,
Right.
cyber attacks are becoming more and more common and more sophisticated, and the consequences can be devastating.
Absolutely. We've seen countless examples of businesses crippled by ransomware attacks, data breaches leading to massive financial losses and reputational damage that takes years to recover from.
It's a stark reminder that we live in a digital world where our data is constantly under threat. So what can we do about it? What are some actionable steps that individuals and organizations can take to improve their data security posture?
Well, first and foremost, it's about awareness. Understanding the threats and the potential consequences is crucial. Educate yourself and your employees about phishing scams, social engineering tactics, and the importance of strong passwords.
It's like building a human firewall
Yeah.
alongside your technological defenses.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of basic security hygiene, regularly updating software, patching vulnerabilities, and using multi-factor authentication can go a long way in preventing attacks.
Those are great tips for individuals and small businesses. But what about larger organizations with more complex needs?
Well, for larger organizations, it's often about implementing a layered security approach.
Okay.
This means combining different security measures to create a more robust defense. Think firewalls, intrusion detection systems, data encryption, and of course, a comprehensive backup and recovery solution like the ones we've been discussing.
It's about having multiple lines of defense
Exactly.
so that if one fails, the others can still protect your data.
Exactly. And remember, data security is not a set it and forget it proposition. The threat landscape is constantly evolving, so you need to stay vigilant and adapt your approach accordingly.
It's an ongoing process of learning, adapting, and refining your defenses.
Precisely. And it's a journey that requires a partnership between technology providers, security experts, and the organizations themselves. It's about working together to create a more secure digital world.
This deep dive has really opened my eyes to the complexity and importance of data security.
It's a fascinating field that's constantly evolving.
And it's one that we all need to be paying attention to.
Because in today's digital age, our data is our most valuable asset.
And protecting it is no longer optional. It's essential.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought.
Something to ponder as they navigate the ever-changing world of data security.
In the face of ever-evolving threats and increasingly sophisticated cybercriminals, what steps will you take to ensure your data remains safe and secure?
It's a question that deserves careful consideration.
Because the stakes are high and the consequences of inaction can be severe.
Remember, knowledge is power, and taking proactive steps to protect your data is the best defense against the threats that lurk in the digital shadows.
We hope this deep dive has provided you with the insights and information you need to embark on your own data security journey.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone. There are experts and resources available to help you navigate this complex landscape.
Stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay secure.